Yo guys, and welcome to a new movie review. Today we are talking about a Hindi movie called War 2. Alright, so I have to be completely honest, before I start this review, I haven't had the singlest of clue that this was part of a shared universe before watching the first movie in the franchise yesterday, which is War 1, of course. I was looking something up about it on Letterboxd and then certainly started to see that it had related movies, and I was like, oh, okay, more movies. And then I saw that it was related to the Tiger franchise, the 3 Tiger movies. The last one I wanted to go watch, but I did not have time to watch the first 2 movies in that franchise, so I skipped on Tiger 3. But I had seen Pathaan before, and I also remembered deeply loving Pathaan up to the point that I even reviewed it on this channel because I loved it so incredibly much. So I was extremely hyped to watch War. I loved War for what it was, did think it was a bit too long in my opinion, but it had the greatest bromance that I have ever seen since RRR, so that was pretty great. And then I also was extremely hyped to go watch this one because this seemed to be even more gayer than the first one was. And I was absolutely loving it, and I was absolutely there for it, and I went to watch the movie, and I have to say that it is an improvement over the first movie, but also not in some capacity. I think overall this one, I favored this one over the last one because there were a lot more scenes that got me hyped up and stoked, and in my seat like yes, like the entire beginning in Japan is extremely exhilarating. I loved that sequence and everything else in this movie, and especially the inclusion of NTR. I love NTR. I loved him since his role in RRR. I tried to see more things of him, haven't done that yet, but I was very happy to see him come in as the bad guy for this one, and I loved his inclusion because I loved what they did with his character, and I love what he did with the character as well, and he is just exhilarating to watch. He is awesome to watch. This is the perfect dad kind of movie, the perfect masculine man movie you can possibly make, and I feel like they did a great job on that as well. I have a feeling, and I also think that the first movie does have a bit too many twists and turns that I saw coming, even though I did not see coming in what way they did the face changing thing in the first one. I also think this one has a bit too many twists and turns. The things that they add are better in my opinion than in the first one, but there are just a little bit too many sequences of people like, oh, you're still playing the game, or my game is still being played, and then they do another twist to twist the story in another direction again for a couple of minutes, and that gets real annoying after a while, especially in that second half. But the thing that they did that happens right after the break point in the middle of the movie, right after the intermission point, that was completely genius. I thought that was an insanely well-made reveal, an insanely well-made twist, and I loved what they did with that. So there are some twists and turns that didn't work because of the over-obnoxious amount of twists and turns, but the ones that they did were kind of okay, and I actually really loved those inclusions. You can also start to see that they are doing more with a shared connection to the universes, which is something I deeply love, especially with that post-credit scene and especially with the ending of the movie that directly sets up the next one in this franchise, Alpha. And yes, this movie made me excited to go back and watch all the other movies within this franchise, to go back to Pathaan and even go back to War 1 again. So in a few weeks I will start binge watching the entire YRF spy universe so I can get ready for Alpha this year and next year for Tiger versus Pathaan, which is something that gets me really excited. And whenever that movie comes out, I will be there opening day. So I guess we can safely say that this franchise has a new fan with it, even though I do see the problems with this franchise and this movie and all the other movies in this, meaning War and Pathaan, which is that the movie story-wise is not the best. It's just scene after scene is made especially for getting another close-up of them stretching their muscles and stuff like that, and it's okay enough to watch, but if you're really going in for a deep story, then you are not in the right place for a franchise like this. For one, I pretty liked it. I loved Pathaan. This one didn't come even close to what Pathaan did for me, as this was more dialed back, but also more exhilarating, but also more twisty and turny, which made my head ache. And this one, with a runtime of almost 3 hours, definitely is way too long, which is a problem I had with every single Indian movie that I have seen. They are all way too long, and the only movie that I didn't bother that with, and even then it still was like, oh, it's 3 hours, was RRR. So yes, I do think this one is a pretty good movie. If you need to come into Indian cinema, I would recommend watching RRR or another movie instead of this one, because this will probably just give you a headache and stuff like that. Right, in the end, I'm going to give Alright, so in the end, I'm going to give War 2 a score of a 7 out of 10. I thought it was pretty damn great. What did you think of it? Please let me know in the comments down below, because I'm really excited to hear your opinion on it. I want to thank you for watching, and I would like to see you in the next video. Thank you, and bye-bye.